Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Stacy. Sorry, I'm melting, so if I look a little pink, it's not the orange hat. I'm actually pink. It's really hot up here. But I have a couple quick updates. Will not take me long to go through on the Lynette Hooker investigation. So the Coast Guard investigation looks like they are wrapping up at least this trip to the Bahamas, and that they're going to be headed back to the United States tomorrow morning. Today's the 4th, tomorrow, June 5th, they are scheduled as of now to leave the Bahamas. Unfortunately, they did not find any of Lynette's remains. I mean, given that it is warm salt water, I thought the chances of that were slim. At least finding, most of her skeleton, maybe a jawbone or something, maybe her skull, something like that, but no luck so far. And so unless she's somewhere on land, I don't know if they're ever going to be able to recover her. Now, that is not a problem in terms of prosecuting, because we prosecute no body cases here in the United States. Even if the Bahamas can't, he's an American citizen who murder is illegal here, so you can be prosecuted by our government, even if, say, the Bahamas can't prosecute a no-body case. I don't know their laws. I'm not sure. But I was very sad for her family's sake to hear that, they didn't find any traces of her, the dry bag, or any of the missing stuff. However, what they did get their hands on is that dinghy, because apparently the Royal Bahamian Police have had it. The Coast Guard has wanted it so that they can put our forensics in it and put our, and they took a dog with them. They took Maggie, who is a canine, specializes in finding decomp. So dogs smell decomp even coming up out of water because it comes up in air bubbles. So some people think that a dog cannot smell decomp coming out of water. Oh, they can. It's going to be rising up in air bubbles. So you got to go slow, but they can absolutely pick it up. Water does not stop the nose of a canine that is trained to do what Maggie's trained to do. And I mean, I love dogs. I'm a former dog groomer, and I think they're amazing animals. If I would love, anybody knows where I could get training to, be a dog trainer, and I don't mean at that level, but just say, somewhere that's not like PetSmart or Petco, someone that actually knows what they're doing. No shade at PetSmart or Petco, it's just their trainers are not, they're trained by the company and they get 6 weeks of training. That's all they get. I'd like to learn from someone who actually knows. But anyway, please like, share, subscribe. That is it for Lynette. Unfortunately, like I said, they do have the dinghy. Hopefully, and now the AC is going to kick on. 4 minutes too late. But so we did get the dinghy. Like I said, the Royal Bahamians had it. Maggie did not alert, but it was kept indoors, so it wasn't like it was outside in the elements. She did not alert. But for a dog to pick up decomp, the off a surface, the body has to be there for at least 3 hours. And I doubt if he killed her, let's say on Soulmate, or even if he killed her in the dinghy, I doubt he was running around with her, even in the dark, for 3 hours. So that will make it a lot harder for a dog to pick up the scent when the body was not there. Potentially, the body was not there long enough to pick up a scent. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, just that they didn't find things that they should have found if he was where he said he was. And not finding those things are as problematic as finding things that shouldn't be. Like finding her is a problem. Like, he lies about where he was. They find different GPS coordinates. They go there, they find her. That's a problem for her. Not him saying, I went here, here, and here, and then them finding a different routes on his watch and going to check those areas and finding no trace of him being there is also a problem for him, because his whole timeline and his whole story is suspect, to say the very least. Now, he maintains his innocence, and, he has every right legally to do that. He has not yet been charged. I do believe that it is likely they will probably charge him. The question is, it would be a federal case, and the feds are never in a hurry, especially because when they are ready, they're ready to go to trial the next day. So I would not doubt if, because the Coast Guard has jurisdiction, it happened. It's kind of like the Anna Kepner case, where the FBI has jurisdiction because it happened on a cruise case, even though it's involving a minor. It still is going through the federal system. So I think that this would be kind of the same thing, even though they're from Michigan. I don't think Michigan would have any jurisdiction to prosecute him for her death. It would have to go through the federal government, at least. As a novice who watches a lot of true crime, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a paralegal. I have social work, and I've taken some, classes that do involve some of the laws regarding like minors, and mandatory reporting and things like that. But like I said, I know for a fact, because the Royal Bahamian Police, it is one of the UK's territories. King Charles III is the head of state, not just of the UK, and Canada and Australia and New Zealand, but there's 13, Jamaica and the Bahamas used to both be part. Jamaica might not be anymore. I know one of the islands separated and has a president now, but all of those countries, our legal system comes out of theirs, but there are distinct differences. So I'm no expert on Bahamian law, and like I said, I don't know if they can do no-body cases there. If someone knows, please let me know in the comments. If you're an attorney or a paralegal, or if you're from the Bahamas, if you're an attorney from the UK, or you are more familiar with their law than I am, please leave me a comment and let me know. Actually, leave me a comment anyway. I love comments, and I always respond. But that's about it. I mean, I don't want to drag this out. I just find it frustrating. I wish they could at least give the family some closure. It's just right. It's like, our daughter's right down the street from me, and her mother's probably not far either, And when I mean right down the street, I mean in the same state, and probably in the Lower Peninsula, because I would assume with a boat that size, if they're coming through Michigan, they're going to come in and out through the Detroit River the way my aunt and uncle used to, so. But anyway, please like, share, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. And most of these longer videos, I'm uploading twice. I'm uploading 3 minutes as a short, and then uploading the full video after. So if you hear me say do the YouTube stuff twice, it's because I didn't get done what I wanted to say in under 3 minutes, so now I'm gonna go over. So I'm gonna cut it, and so that's why it sometimes comes out like that. I just don't wanna. It's just easier. I don't have a computer, and I can't really edit from my phone. It's too hard. It's hard for me to text with the stigmatism. Everything's blurry. I'm not even gonna try to edit it. It is how it is. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. If I misspeak, I will, and someone points it out, because I don't listen necessarily to every single word that I say when I listen back. I listen back to make sure that nothing's completely wrong, but and so if I misspeak or make a mistake, please just point it out in the comments. You don't need to be rude about it. You just be like, hey, you don't need to be like, hey, dummy, you messed this up. You can just be like, hey, did you know that you weren't right here? But in all reality, I roll with that stuff pretty well. You have to, if you're going to have a social media channel. A friend of mine's thinking about starting it. I'm like, you have to just not care what people who don't know you think about you, because they're going to form an opinion based on 5 seconds of seeing you. And it's not fair, but everybody does it. And you can't take it personally. If you're one of those people, like my husband would love to start a channel, but he doesn't have the personality to. He would really internalize it, and it's like, well, you don't know me. I'm a good person, and not everybody's going to give me a chance. I'm fine with that. Some people are not. Some people are like, I'm a good person. Why won't you give me a chance? Because not everybody's going to. It is how it is. But you know, I'm almost 50 years old. I don't have time or the health to care. I got a lot going on. But I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I did post one about D4VD and his parents who never seem to get blamed, even though there's literal pictures of them with Celeste at one of his concerts. It's like her with his siblings and his parents. But more attacks on her parents, which just infuriates me for a wide variety of reasons. I fumed about that in another video, though. So they're both up. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Hope everyone has a good night. Bye.